Dataddo, as a partner, has made the speed that we've been able to build our company so much faster.
Welcome to Dataddo, the platform that moves your data from any source to any destination. This video is a case study interview with the CEO of Ringside.ai about how they build their marketing data platform faster and better using Dataddo. Key outcomes include shorter product build time and higher product quality. 2 to 3 full-time developer equivalents saved thanks to fully managed pipelines, and full confidence during sales processes that Dataddo can accommodate new connection scenarios for Ringside clients. Click in the timeline to skip to a specific question and answer. Let's dive in.
Ringside is a marketing data platform. So we combine our own web analytics. So we have our own tracking and tagging, and then we combine that incredibly granular data set with marketing and advertising data. So we go into all of the APIs available for marketing and ad platforms and pull the incredibly granular data from there and link that up with the web analytics data we capture. We also go into CRM systems. We pull data from DM, from any system like call tracking, Google Analytics, TikTok ads, etc. The goal being is that we get incredibly granular marketing cost and campaign and performance data from those platforms and match them at the lowest granularity to what actually goes on a customer's website. So the brands that we work with and the agencies and partners we have are able to understand what marketing activity is truly working. And sitting above that, we do machine learning and some algorithms that allow us to predict conversions, understand how much revenue we think businesses are going to be making, and help them get some insights from their data so they can see where success is coming from and where they've got opportunities to make improvements in their sort of marketing and sales activity. We are on the Google Cloud platform. So we heavily use BigQuery and Cloud Functions in a number of different ways in the way that we pull data in. The main use case that we have of getting that data in is either our own tracking and tagging, which is all within that infrastructure, and then we link that up with the API connections that go direct into our BigQuery. We also use some other external databases, or we have to go and connect to clients' external databases. But the goal being is we follow this sort of the extract, load, transform. So we take that data in its rawest form and pull that into our warehouse. Then we transform that into a schema that we've planned ourselves, rather than trying to do things in transit. A big part of that for us is making sure that we're very specific about what comes in to our infrastructure for privacy and security reasons. So we are very limited we are limiting in what we are allowing to come in, and then we transform that to match the schema that we've built our platform on. The biggest thing for us is very early on, we were prioritizing headcount in the developer space. And my CTO was like, I can go and build connections to these APIs. He built a couple very early on, 5 years ago, to go into Google Search Console. We built a couple of those. And the upkeep of those APIs is a major problem. We were partnered up with one of your competitors before we started working with you, and we were facing very specific challenges in working with them. So the one use case that was a big convincer for us was where we were trying to get data from Microsoft Ads. What that meant was that we had to get a lot of rows of data out of that system in one extract. By the definition of how that API works, I'm going to have to extract 5 million rows to get the 100,000 data points that I actually need. I don't want to be paying for 5 million rows. And you still, in the marketplace, are the only people who actually do Microsoft Ads correctly. And so the model that you guys have for charging by flows and sources. That model works so much better when you're trying to do big data compared to the row model that just doesn't work. We go into all of the APIs available for marketing and ad platforms and pull the incredibly granular data from there and link that up with the web analytics data we capture. We are also using Dataddo to push data into Klaviyo, into Google Ads, into Meta. We're actually working with you on a few others as well. So we are doing reverse ETL, but ELT on the way in. The use case that we use most frequently is pushing stuff into Klaviyo, actually, where we're able to segment the customer base and pass that up to Klaviyo. It could be the attributed value of that, or it could be the lifetime value calculation that we're passing back into Klaviyo or Salesforce Marketing Cloud, where in the CRM system, they're then able to use that data that's been reverse ETL'd into those CRM systems. They're able to create segments and then send emails to those segments. The reverse ETL into Google Ads is where we're able to pass up our attribution model built within the Ringside platform into Google Ads. And then that can be set as a primary conversion logic, whether it be the counter conversions or revenue. And then businesses are able to target performance against that new conversion logic that gives a better representation of what's working and what's not. We've got a brand that has completely changed their budget process because they now have their RFM model in Klaviyo. So they previously were sending one or two different versions of emails to their hundreds of thousands of email subscribers. And what they were able to do is change that. They now send 6 slightly different emails every time they send their sort of weekly email based on the RFM modeling that's done within the Ringside platform, but that updates all of those records within Klaviyo. So all of that is happening batched overnight. All of that, the RFM model runs, it then pushes that directly into Klaviyo. And then on a weekly basis, when they're sending those emails, those categories of people are automatically segmented within that platform. That's completely changed the way and value that business is putting on email, because they're able to talk to people in a way that better targets where they are in their decision-making process. And it's very similar to what we've been able to do with brands in Google Ads. We push a cleaner, better data set to say, here is the value of this activity. And what that enables is a more optimal buying process. You're going after a more optimized audience. But I also want to take into consideration the value that Meta has, the value that our email has, the work we've been doing on organic search to increase our rankings. And we want to make sure that all of that is taken into consideration, not just passing it by because someone clicked on a PPC ad 29 days ago. And the ability to push that data direct into Google, we're going to be able to do very quickly because we use Dataddo. We've set up a lot of our sources to be multi-brand for our from our setup. So Google Ads being one of the examples, Microsoft Ads, Meta, where all of our clients are within a single account in our system. So that's one source in yours. We had a really great experience of sort of building the solution with you guys. We had a few other vendors that there was a Swedish business that we work with where there was a Swedish startup that they were working with that nobody had connections for. And so we just asked you guys, can you build a connection to this? And like 3 weeks later, we had an API, and the team then went and backdated the data for us to make sure we had all of the data we needed. And it was that understanding of, yes, if there's documentation available for an API, we can go and make that connection. We will go and build that connection for you. And in combination with that, the pricing model makes sense for the scalability of data that we need. If we were to consider replacing Dataddo, which I'm just going to say now, is never going to happen. It would already be 2 or 3 headcount that we would have to have, not because it takes that long to build those connectors, but it's the upkeep. And we couldn't have 2 people, because if both of them ended up holiday or sick, we wouldn't be able to keep on top of the data that we're coming in. So the investment for us is way more profitable, and we can spend our headcount and budget in an area of sort of data engineering instead of the building of all of these APIs. And it will just get more and more complicated as we bring in more sources as well. The support we get as well is a big factor in this. It's not just the development support, it's also the ability to just reach out to someone, whether that be via your Slack or an email or through the ticketing system, and someone will come back within a couple of days with the answer. Not just like we're looking at it, they've gone and solved that problem for us. And again, a big thing for me as the CEO is being able to comfortably have that confidence in our partners to say, no matter what that issue is, someone is going to own that problem on behalf of us. So I can then comfortably own that problem on behalf of my company as well. Any ECRM tool, any advertising network, any marketing platform, all of those, we have data that would enrich their algorithms to help the brands that we work with who use those technologies to be better at what they're doing in the marketing and advertising space. That is a very broad spectrum of businesses, ranging from like the HubSpots and the Salesforce Marketing Clouds of the world, to the Metas, the Googles, to the Klaviyos, to the TikTok ads. All of those platforms, we want to use reverse ETL to pass that data back, to enrich what those platforms know about the consumer base that they're talking to. It's the people and the appetite for success that's been a real big thing for us. We love the team. Absolutely love the team.